President Biden paying tribute to Queen Elizabeth II, even making a stop at the British Embassy to personally sign the condolence book, only to turn around and launch another attack on MAGA Republicans. Watch.
She can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. Extreme MAGA Republicans just don't threaten our personal and economic rights. They embrace political violence. They refuse to accept the will of the people. They threaten our very democracy.
Come on, man. A Reuters Ipsos poll finding nearly 60% of Americans feel Biden's soul of the nation speech will further divide the nation, as a new Rasmussen poll finds 52% of voters say they support a Biden impeachment. Joining the conversation all morning long this morning is Dagan McDowell and Joe Concha. You know, Dagan, all of this attack, the constant attacks and hate-filled speeches by Joe Biden is a distraction. A distraction so we don't focus on 40-year high inflation and, simply put, bad policy resulting in bad outcomes, Dagan.
Joe Biden et al., Biden Incorporated, as I call it, has taken the nation down a very dangerous road that has made Americans poor and reduced our standard of living. So, of course, he's not going to talk about that. He has no policy initiatives and victories that have positively changed our lives in this country. He can talk about passing this mini Build Back Better, this tax and climate bill, but what's the impact of that? It's, again, playing favorites. Janet Yellen was standing at a Ford plant, or a Ford Innovation Center. Of course, Ford's going to welcome the Treasury Secretary there because it's getting regulatory lift and subsidies and handouts from this administration, this government. That being said, as Mick Mulvaney said yesterday, Biden, of course, is going to lambaste conservatives here, there, and everywhere because he can't talk about anything that he's done for the American people. That's all he's got. He could talk about his dogs, I suppose. That might make him more likable. But where's the one that used to bite people?
Yeah, that's right. My favorite op-ed from the editorial board in the Wall Street Journal was today. It's my favorite op-ed in a long time, by the way, by the editorial board, and it was Janet Yellen's fantasy economy, because that is exactly what she sounds like. She is living in fantasy land. Yesterday from the Ford plant, she doesn't even mention we're in contraction. Hello. The first 6 months of the year is a contraction. And they write, U.S. inflation has been substantially homegrown, Joe. Trillions of dollars in federal spending hit an economy that was already recovering strongly from the pandemic with a tight labor market. Inflation was already at 7.9% before Ukraine's invasion by Russia.
And yet we hear about the Putin price hikes, right, Maria?
Yeah.
And look, Dagan's exactly right. This is all about deflection. This is the president talking about these MAGA Republicans as if there's some sort of like huge army out there that we all should be very, very concerned about, because he can't talk about, to Dagan's point, inflation. He can't talk about gas prices, which, yes, have fallen, but still, when you're near $4, that's a little different than $2.30, which was the price of gas when this president took office. You don't talk about lax bail laws that allow criminals to go back out onto the street and hurt and murder people because we have people getting arrested only to get right out after the fact. And then fentanyl, I'll leave it here, crossing the U.S. southern border, killing 300 Americans per day. And yet we hear the president not talking about the true threat to Americans right now, and that is opioid addiction. He doesn't want to talk about it because that means talking about the border, and that's a place that he simply will not visit. Maria?
Yeah, la la land. It's so